All right, so we're going to do derivative practice. First one says y equals, it is a composite. All right. When I look at this, we have to be thinking the quotient rule, which we are memorizing or have memorized. And I think that was in this week in calculus, is get all this memorized. All right. It's that rule. Quiz, not a quiz on this. This will be a quiz on old stuff on. Oh, that'll be the following Friday. Listen, there is a quiz on all this stuff, as long as it's on the video too. The quiz on all this stuff the following Friday. All right? And it should be the easiest points ever. Someone won't study, and they'll get up basically a 0. All right? Happens every year. All right. Everybody, you need to think of this y this way. Does everybody agree that the rational exponents of this one are this? All right, so now we have to take f prime. F prime, the derivative of the top, is simply this. That is the derivative of the top. Derivative of positive 1 is 0. Times the bottom, which is this. Minus derivative of the bottom. Derivative of the bottom is simply, again, this, right? Times the, whoops, circle, times the top, right? And the top on this one is simply x to the half plus 1. All over what? The bottom squared. And everyone, you notice one thing. I changed the bottom back to the radical. Everyone, this is definitely a problem where I would tell you to simplify it. This is not a problem on my test where I would say do not simplify. So the question becomes, and I would actually tell you to take this back to radical form. I wouldn't let you leave it in exponent form. There's two ways to do it. You either write these as fractions right now, which I don't suggest. I suggest distributing those because what's x to the negative half times x to the half? X to the 0. Guys, listen. I know you said negative 1/4 because I said times. That's when you multiply the bases, we add the exponents. Right? So y prime is half, x0 is 1, minus 1/2 x to the negative half. Now let's distribute the negative over here. It's minus half, negative 1/2 to the x to the negative half. All over. Square root of x minus 1 squared. Oh, I love how this worked out. Boom, boom. Negative half minus half is negative 1. So I get y prime is negative x to the negative half over square root of x minus 1 squared. And everybody, I know you'd hate this, but I would make you put this back in radical form. That over that, and we've learned that when there's a bottom like that, you just flip it up, and my derivative would be this. And that is the answer to this problem. All right. Again, what happens here is if you guys don't practice some of these are from section 3.3, this becomes very complicated to do. And I know I'm going pretty fast, all right? But it's this stuff you got to practice. If you don't practice it, you'll miss it. So we'll just keep grinding, all right? And when I say practice, typically a human being needs to do a problem 17 times. Before it comes habit. 17 times to know it, 1,000 times to do habit. Listen, this is habit for me, guys, because I've done it thousands of times. You know, I'm not smart. Listen, the biggest misconception about stat teachers, especially old teachers, is that we're smarter somehow. I'm smarter than Keegan, but the rest of you guys I don't know about, okay? But seriously, it's simply practice. So if you're talking something like, you're talking about shooting layups or free throws, it's in the thousands of times because that's a physical motion. Knowing something is usually 17 times. The mind is a much easier muscle to train than the human body. All right? But it's just practice. All right, next one. This one I think is pretty easy, everybody. And this one I would tell you not to simplify. All right? And I accidentally erased the F prime a little bit. Everybody, how about 2x plus 1 minus x to the negative 2 minus 2x to the negative 3? All right. The test does have these. All right. No, the quiz is easier than that. It's just knowing the rules. The quiz is just knowing the rules the first time.
Wait, I thought you said that was next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday.
But don't we have a quiz Thursday?
Yeah, the quiz Thursday is on chapter 2.
And a test on chapter.
Right, it's just the last test. Quizzes are always old material. All right, keep practicing.